Welcome to a deck tech of the Lady in the Lamp. I was going to go ahead and show you this deck from Aspirations of Kalos with the actual cards. Now, we actually did a deck tech of this with the virtual cards, and you've probably seen the video. I wanted to show you the actual card feed. So first we have our champion, and we're going to do some rules clarification while we're in this video. This is Laterna, the Last Hope, and while playing Aspirations of Kalos, your starting aspiration points will be found here in the triangle. So on this one, we'll be starting with 5, and in order to play cards, we're going to be discarding or paying aspiration points. Now on your champion, you have abilities that are pluses or minuses. And in this case, we have Divine Mercy as a +2, Beckons a +2, Holy Intervention's a -4. These can only be paid with aspiration points, or you gain aspiration points from them. Discarding cards is not affected in this rules part. So on this card, we have an ability that's static, or it happens automatically. At the beginning of each turn, each player draws a card. So one of the things we're getting from Laterna is getting the card feed. Divine Mercy, I can put a card from the discard pile on the top or bottom of the deck. Beckon, each player draws 2 cards. Or Holy Intervention, shuffle all cards from your hand discard pile into your deck and draw 5 cards. So starting out with 5 aspiration points is decent in the game, as some start with 7, some start with as few as 4. So let's set Laterna, that's the lady in the deck. Now let's talk about the main combo piece that goes with her, and that is Soothsayer's Lamp. This is a relic, which means it can only be played on its controller's turn. Much like the champion abilities can only be used on their controller's turn, but these relic abilities can actually be played on either player's turn. You're going to pay 1, that can be paid with an aspiration point or discarding a card, to draw a card. If you do, you discard a card. If a conjuration card is discarded this way, each other player loses 2 aspiration points. This relic only costs 1, so by discarding 1 card or paying 1 AP, we can play it. Now, with it in play, the goal is to get Soothsayer's Lamp as quickly as possible. So we're going to use a conjuration to do that, and that is going to be Sudden Discovery. And many of you have seen this card in the artwork on our posters, you've seen it on the site, and it costs 2. Conjurations can be played during either player's turn, so we can use this as a tutor at any time. And it says search your deck for a relic card, reveal it, put it to your hand, shuffle the deck afterwards. So what we're going to do is the goal is to get, number 1, we want Soothsayer's Lamp down as quickly as possible. And then we want to have the ability to use the discarding. So we're going to be playing a lot of conjuration cards, and I'm going to show you some of those we're going to be playing. So I'm going to go ahead and set the lamp with her. We'll set those aside in the center here. And I'll go ahead and set the Sudden Discoveries under her as well. So we know these are 3 of the main combo pieces we're going to play. And now we're going to show you a few of the other ways we're going to get there with it. Alright, so we have some card draw. And this one is one of the most important ones. And it is played in a lot of the decks now. Target player draws 2 cards for 0 Sacred Oil. Now, as we were talking about, aspiration points or discarding cards can be used to play other cards. So this essentially says I'm gaining 2 that I can use to then discard and play other abilities. So I'm going to go ahead and set Sacred Oil as one of them. Another one we're using, now keep in mind our lamp is a relic. And so we're going to use a card called Concoct. It costs 1. Draw 2 cards of a relic is drawn this way, reveal it, and gain 2 aspiration points. So we're going to be drawing the lamp oftentimes with this and gaining 2 aspiration points. Now in order to win in Aspirations of Kalos, either end your turn with 15 or more aspiration points, or your opponent ends their turn with 0 or less. So we're going to either do one of 2 things. We're going to use her abilities and tick up to gain aspiration points, and use cards like Concoct to gain more and try to end her turn with 15. Or we're going to use this lamp and slowly take away points from them until they have 0 or less at the end of their turn. And sometimes the lamp can really take off. Because of cards like Sacred Oil, where we're drawing 2 cards for 0, that gives us more ammunition to throw at our opponent. Now, other cards that are going to help us get that draw. We draw 2 from our concocts, and we're going to also have one that digs pretty deep in case we need our lamp. Another way is Explorations, and it costs 1. It's a conjuration. We look at the top 3, put 1 in our hand, shuffle the other 2 into our deck. This one is very good at digging the combo piece of the lamp. We want to be able to get it as quickly as possible, so this one is essentially one of the best card draws we have. Another one, and this one is going to seem like it's counterproductive, but we have Strike a Deal. You and another target player gain 3 aspiration points and draw 3 cards. That seems counterproductive because we're giving them cards and giving them aspiration points. But in our eyes, we're playing this with Soothsayer's Lamp. So the goal here is we're giving ourselves 3 aspiration points and 3 cards. So we're essentially giving ourselves 6 tools to use with this lamp, getting 6 triggers off of it. So that is one of the reasons to play Strike a Deal. We're also playing a card called Wanderer's Talisman to remove it from the game and draw a card. This ability can only be activated after it comes back to our turn. So we can play a relic, then we can't activate this part of its clause because there's no cost on it. We can't activate this part of the clause until it comes back to our turn. So we're using cards like this in order to fish out the combo pieces and in order to put more cards in our hand for Soothsayer's Lamp. Now we're going to also have pieces to gain more aspiration points, such as Healing Elixir. We contribute it, gain 2 aspiration points. And Angelic Mercy, which target player gains 3. So essentially we're going to net 1 off of this even if we pay aspiration points for it. But a lot of time we can discard cards. Remember, we could just discard 2 cards here, and we would gain the 3 aspiration points from it. If we get a bunch of relics out, which we have from our Wanderer's Talismans and our Healing Elixirs, worst case scenario, we can take them to Smelter's Furnace, tribute a relic, gain an aspiration point. So if it becomes the point that the opponent is going to destroy them, we need to get them off the field as quickly as possible. So that's kind of the feel of the deck. As you can see, we're going to, and we have some that are going to be able to negate and get cards away from us, such as Fall from Grace and negate target cast. If one's negated this way, its controller loses 2 aspiration points. Now remember, non-relics and non-champions are cast, so essentially conjurations and arenas. Those are the 2 things that are cast in the game of Aspirations of Kalos, because we're playing like there's a champion. Each player has a champion, and your champion is using their abilities. They're using conjurations, arenas, relics. That's the three types of cards besides a champion. And when we look at this, the other cards we're going to be using in this deck, the whole point is card advantage. Once we get everything in our discard pile, the next step, if we have to, is this one. We Rise of the Phoenix. Shuffle our discard pile into our deck. And Rise of the Phoenix, it does X damage target player, where X is the number of cards in our discard pile. So we can throw our entire discard pile, our entire deck into our discard pile, then throw the discard pile at them with Rise of the Phoenix. So that's one of the big moves we can make. So, if you're looking for a deck that is kind of, it can do a combo, it can play the long game, it's one of those things that can go either direction with this one. If you like fast games, this may not really be a deck for you unless you want to try to combo on the first couple of turns with your lamp. But Aspirations of Kalos can be it can be fast. It's very reactive. It's very, when your opponent plays something, you want to have an answer right then. Conjurations being able to play on either player's turn, that's played a lot Like somebody will say, hey, I'm going to Sacred Oil and draw 2 cards. The opponent responds with, okay, I'm going to play my Sacred Oil and draw 2 cards to see if I can find something to answer you. So this is the Lady in the Lamp deck tech. Hopefully this answered some questions about Aspirations of Kalos. Looking at the artwork, I mean, these cards are beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and get this one out of the sleeve and let you look at the back too. Just want you to see some of the quality we have here. These cards are looking great. They turned out wonderful. Couldn't ask for better. So we hope that this has cleared up some of the rules of Aspirations of Kalos. I'm going to have you some gameplay videos coming up. I'm going to do one that is going to basically be that you're just going to watch a game, that I'm just going to show you step-by-step motions of what would happen during it, and we'll get some clarification there. But this was the actual card version of Lady in the Lamp deck tech. Thank you for tuning in, and God bless.